Please go to Lord, word of prayer.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you this beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for all the people that's come out tonight to the meeting to understand more about what the county does. Dear God, we pray that you would just be with us as we go to our meeting, guide us and lead us. And it's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Easy, because my computer's been down. But we'll say it's all right. Okay, we're gonna need to do the minutes from last meeting. We'll need a motion to approve them.
Make that motion.
Need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. That's signed. Okay, now we have the claims. Let me put glasses on so I can see what it says. Okay, the claims are $2,029,595.33. So I need a motion to approve that.
So move. A second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Department reports. Yeah, I need you up there anyway. Yeah, because I want to find about that House bill. About the septic system. That's bull. I don't think it's gone through Senate yet, has it?
It has to go through the Senate chamber.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Yeah, it's,
You might explain that a little bit for anybody. Way I understand it is that it, should something fail an inspection, there's a bill right now out in the state legislature. And should it fail inspection, a local septic system, let's say our local inspector were to fail it or to not permit it, then they can go to a second source. Is my limited understanding of, maybe you can, and I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Recommendation for what they should do. Because that's all we do. We educate, we recommend. We aren't a contractor. We just try to help. So what can happen is the homeowner, which makes it in their interest, they're gonna wanna choose the cheaper route, which might not necessarily be the best route with, if the contractor says, well, you could use a smaller septic, or you could use, so that's where I think.
I don't know, according to what I read,
about
they said if a county had an ordinance over septic systems,
that.
it's no longer legal.
That's the way I understood it. And then they could go to like a contractor
And the contractor.
and
can
the
override it.
contractor, yeah, could give his or her approval on it. And it would be permissible.
Yes, they have to.
So my position would be that, we don't have over stringent requirements the way it is.
Professionals take kickbacks, though.
And like I said, it can be for the beginning.
Yeah.
I want to get your take on it, because I read that today on. Where-
If we do things like this, we're gonna be coming down the line and just learning and talking and reading things and. To Ben and I. That this was gonna be a possibility, so.
Do you know which state legislature sponsored this? Do you know which legislator sponsored it?
It come through the House, so it has to be a representative that sponsored it.
And why would we go backwards? It would be my question to the state legislators that sponsor this. There's no good reason to go backwards in public health. You're the messenger, but
Like Ellsworth, it looks like.
and is he out of, I'm not gonna assume. I'm not even gonna say.
Okay, yeah.
You can go ahead with your report now. I just wanted to find
Out
out.
of Marion County?
Yeah.
Marion County has a lot of septics.
No,
I'm biting my tongue.
Marion County don't have no septic.
So, okay, so we have a Marion County legislator dictating to the rest of the state on septic systems and not wanting to raise the standards, but lower the standards. President, I would like for us to send on behalf of the Gibson County Commissioners a letter to this legislator and to our legislator,
Yeah.
indicating that we are not for lowering standards in Gibson County. If that's agreeable amongst all the commissioners.
And Judy wants to write it.
It's co-authored by a tap boy. Guess where she's from?
Fair enough.
Gotta go to Indy.
Thanks for your information.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You didn't have a report?
I said, I gave you guys one.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
They're gonna do septic systems, are doing really well, and they went to class, and she's educating herself with Ben and working on stuff from Purdue, and she went out today and saw a guy go through a septic, and they're gonna have to replace it, so definitely getting a lot of good training, so very good.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
All right. Any other report? Go ahead. Boss?
Well, sheriff couldn't be here tonight, so he got me instead. So put my sheriff's department in. Just a few statistics from the month of March. I don't have any pictures to show like Bruce does, so. bear with me.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Had 312 civil process papers served in the month of March. $750 in the month of March from sex offender registration. They have to register every year in the county that they live in. And I believe we have 96 registered sex offenders in Gibson County. And probably including ones that work in businesses in Gibson County that live out of the county, there's about 200 in Gibson County. Inmates booked in for March of 256. The current jail population, 73 males, 15 females. And we're also housing 19 males and 2 females in the work release center. Also that belong, that would be normally where the jail was not overcrowded, would be in the jail. Accidents, we had 43 accidents that we worked in March. 66 vehicles and $300,000 worth of damage and 4 dead deer. The vehicles are kind of running around because the water's getting up and they're looking for a new place to stay. Just those 911 calls, we kind of wonder. We got 1,531 calls in the month of March, just for 911 service. Give you kind of an idea how that place is busy all the time. Let's see, and I've got another thing about it a little later. And for a total of 3 months, we've done 4,265 911 calls that we've received. So as you can see, they stay pretty busy, just answering 911 calls, not alone all the radio traffic and all the computer work that they have to do and running license checks and checking on warrants and things.
4,200?
What did I say there?
Yeah, 265,
265.
about 1,000 a month or so.
Got 4,265. And most of them are from nowadays are from cell phones. Don't get too many on landlines anymore. Those things are not obsolete, but pretty close to it.
A 47 a day.
Huh?
A 47 a day is the average.
47 a day for 911 calls. Of course, you gotta realize you get a wreck on I-69 or US 41, and you may get 20 calls just on one wreck. People driving by, which is fine. We just assume they do that. And then we get a lot of calls on people driving under the influence. Reckless driving or aggressive driving, those all come in on 911 there. Those people aren't independent. Years ago. It's a good thing.
That question was,
Two hundred calls, whatever, how many's like law enforcement, how many's like fire, how many's like?
I don't have that broken down. I didn't bring that. I'm not sure if we can break that down. To do that. Probably can, I'll have to set that. That'd be something that.
Yeah, that'd be a good
With
task,
visual aid.
good task.
Let's get the bare minimum right now. One thing our department did do, that we think was a real positive thing to do last Sunday, as you know, last Friday, they had a large tornado in Sullivan, Indiana. And 150 buildings and houses were destroyed in the city of Sullivan, on the south end of Sullivan. And just outside of the city limits, there was another 50 in the county that were destroyed. So we've been through some tornadoes before and dealt with that and helped out before. So 5 of our deputies went up there to help with security and traffic control. And 3 of them spent the day there and 2 of them spent the evening there. And it was a good experience for them. It's an experience you don't want them to have, but
Yeah.
you need to know how these things work and what kind of, it's, you see photographs but that doesn't show the real picture until you get there. And it's an eye opener.
do they call you or do you call them?
We called them.
If you need assistance.
Helped you out on that. Was on Saturday, but they had some help on Saturday and said they needed some additional people on Sunday. That's not a big sheriff's department up there. Your neighbor and, hope it never happens here, but
Right on.
if it does, they'll be glad to help us out. I think everything else is on jail stuff, so. Switch over to the jail stuff, I can. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things we've been working on is, I've kind of talked about it a few times, is about having a camera that would be live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If everything goes well, we'll take a look at it here in a second. So I'm hoping, give us a minute, but it covers the whole, pretty much the whole construction site. And also see what people do at Maine, and this is on our webpage, so go to Gibson County Sheriff. On our webpage, there's a section on there that says jail construction cameras. And that's a live picture. You see the vehicles moving there on the North Main Street, south of the stoplight. And you can also see them over on the other intersection at Prince and Brumfield. You can actually zoom in. There's it's building a kind of a time elapse program in it. So every day it takes a couple of snapshots. And of course, right now it's kind of short, but as time goes in, you get into the summer, you can actually see this thing being built. This in a couple of minutes and what's going on with it. So that is, I don't think you can get any more transparent than that. And you can actually sit here and watch it build this thing. And something we've been kind of pushing for.
Yeah.
Got that done. So that's kind of one of the things we're working on. We also, I think you remember we talked, it's been a while, probably a year ago. We talked about Duke Energy, and there was a program that they had called Smart Saver. That's an incentive program, and we'll get money back from. Well, Centerpoint has a very similar program, which is our natural gas provider for the jail. And we've applied for incentives with the Centerpoint natural gas company, and so we'll be getting some response from them.
Good.
So I think that's a good thing. Also, half of our vehicles that we ordered from with the ARPA funds have come in, and they're in Plainfield. We're gonna go get those. And let's see, what else? I think we've been working on coming up with a plan to get some rotating cabinets for storage records at the community corrections building, I think eventually. So we are working with the commissioners with that, and also our county clerk. So hopefully we'll get that going. One other thing that's pretty important, I think, we talked about 911, how they've gotten over 4,000 calls in the last 3 months. Well, this so happens that April the 9th through the 15th is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. And so I had we had some proclamations made up
Oh, nice.
and, declaring that Gibson County, that's National Telecommunication Officers Week, that do need your signatures and attested by our county auditor. And, if one of you commissioners want to read that, since it's, will be your proclamation. Word?
Sure. Proclamation, a proclamation declaring April 9th through the 15th, 2023 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Gibson County Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunication of the Gibson County Communications Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, it is proclaimed by the Gibson County Commissioners the week of April 9th through 15th, 2023, to be National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in Gibson County, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Gibson County, Indiana to be affixed on this 4th day of April, 2023.
Good.
Need to make a motion on that? Let's make a motion to approve this.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'm sure that they, we do a little luncheon for them and let them know that
Yeah.
they're. That's a 20,
Do you have the one that you want everybody to sign or,
Yeah, you can just sign all of them there.
oh, just sign them all?
Yeah, then you guys can keep one or post one here, or
Okay.
I'm sure the auditor probably want it for his record, for his minutes. But they, some people don't realize, I mean, it's more than just answering. They are, we've got, matter of fact, we have a brand new dispatcher, and he made it one of the comments. that
Just sign
he
one.
didn't realize. Because it is, you got a multi.
Minutes?
All the time.
Okay, fine.
I would think so.
So if I get. One of these back here, I guess I'll-
Okay.
And, we'll take that and post it at the sheriff's department.
I know.
Yeah, sign that. That's for Mike.
Yeah.
Here's one signed by all 3 commissioners, and we just need Mike to sign it.
We invited to that too?
Huh?
Can we come to that too?
I'm sorry.
Can we come to this? We do something too?
That
Can the
one's for
commissioners?
Mike.
Can the commissioners come?
Yeah, we want you to sign. Mhm. Just need you to sign. Never mind.
Oh, to the luncheon?
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
Mike, he's-
Right.
I'm not about signing. Talking about the luncheon. Mhm.
You stand. All right, and I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
Let me sign this one.
There you go, buddy.
Like I say,
You have the others,
a lot of stress.
but they're still signed.
They kind of have to be able to canvass the entire county and take in all the concerns and, wow, they're just some amazing people.
Well, they got a big job. I mean. Duties that they've got responsibility. Call 911, if your child's choking, you're expecting that dispatcher to give you instructions.
This is mine.
If Wives have a heart.
I'll borrow your pen.
They're gonna be able to keep on the line and deal with that, if somebody's trying to break into your house and they're trying to tell you to stay calm. But they've got to stay calm at the same time, it's not an easy thing to do. We got a police officer. Serious, yelling or raising. We're supposed to know what a police officer is.
I'll let you.
We can sign this one.
Thank you, George.
Or next. Oh,
God bless them.
So confusing. And
That's a tough job. I can't imagine.
okay.
All right. All right, thank you. That's my copy.
I don't know who copy that is. That can be your copy.
Okay.
I'll get mine later on. Get the rest of mine later on.
Okay. All right, let's, a TIF 60% capture and 40% do what? Reports.
Department report.
Well, no, but we can be. Go ahead.
I'm Larry Mickle, Branch. I'm not taking Brant's position on giving a highway report, but I just want to give an observation. That there's a lot of work out there in the county being done. Highway people along with this crew and his their department. I can't believe how many ditches have been cleaned out this last couple of months, and I just want to make an observation that I think they're doing an outstanding job. There's all kind of equipment out running around. And especially that ditcher, I don't know how many 100 miles he has a ditch in the last.
He's done a lot.
So I just want to give a pat on that. Hey, can I?
Appreciate that. And just anybody that has a ditch needs to be cleaned out. And I'll talk to Cromers this evening. But anybody that has a ditch, if you'll reach out to us commissioners and email us, or if you'd rather call us here, that's fine too. But we've got a ditching machine, a newer ditching machine that we purchased here just about what, a year ago or so?
About a year ago, yeah.
And they're wearing it out. And as far as the commissioners go, we want to keep wearing it out. And if anybody in the public, if you have neighbors, friends, or anybody here needs some help with it, please let us know. We'll get them out there. I know you saw one that could use some cleaning.
We had to pick up a load of rock, it could be dug out, put back on the road.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But we always did with it.
Last night out there on our road, you know, I'm kind of particular about that road because we have to beg for everything we get there. But they were putting mulch around these pedestals and they hung a skid steer up and buried the thing. Well, they tried to pull it out with a pickup truck and they dug down clear through the road, dug down about that deep. 5 or 6 holes. Well, I tried to get a hold of Montgomery, couldn't. And so finally we got a hold of Judy and she got a hold of County Garage and they sent Matt Holden out there and he looked at him and he told this guy, he said, you will dig those holes back out. He filled them up with loose stuff and put cold patch in them and that guy agreed to that. So I want to thank Judy and Matt Holden both. I think they did a real good job last night. They deserve it.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Do you know if there is a schedule that they have that they're doing it? I'm the township trustee, so I thought, well, maybe I should drive around and look and see and just report on behalf, but if they have a schedule, is there somewhere that we can go to look at that? Or is it just by call?
I think you probably need to call and get on the list, but I would call the highway department. It's what I've been advising folks to do, or let me know and I can call the highway department for you. Either way would be fine.
To see if.
My guess is they probably do have a schedule and a list of, projects, but that doesn't mean you can't get on there. So
Well.
we'll get you on there. Yeah.
Mr. Julie here, he does this. Mr. Julie's here. Julie here from the highway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's not the ditcher, but he might.
Mr. Julie, do you know if they have anything going? They have a schedule or anything? Doing ditches?
Just when the calls come in, I got one ditching machine for 10 townships. And then I fill in with the excavator wherever I go, which I can't do it near as fast as what Barry can.
Yeah.
But Just got to call in and we'll get you on the list.
Sounds good.
I see him running around too.
You've seen Mark out? Yeah, he stays pretty busy.
I'll never see him by anybody.
It just kind of, the guy, he's got too many counties, I mean, he's got Center Township, and I think but Center Township's a big area. I mean, really, he's got Center, he does everything from, what is that, 200? And go all the way to Wheeling and all that up in that area, Oakville and all that. That's how Rodney's was, he'd always go up to the substation, and if everything from the substation all the way north, he had everything, and that's a lot of area.
Sure is.
Substation on 450, and he goes straight across all the way to Hazleton and all that, that's his area.
You're gonna bring up about the percentage on the,
Oh, yes, I just want to mention redevelopment commission. They've been asking us to renew the capture and the pass through for the year. And so I just need a motion to stay with status quo, what we've used probably for the last 20 years, but or as long as I know, 60-40 has been the percentages, but so I would entertain a motion for that to approve it.
I'll second it.
Okay, so made.
What's 60 and what's 40 and
Yes, 60%. So the TIF area, a lot of people, and including myself, have to be educated on this because sometimes you think of TIF and you think, well, is that money something? Is that like is that a bank or a purse of money that can be used all over the county? And the answer is, it kind of goes back to the established area for the TIF. Originally, it was the Patoka Union Township. Now, over the course of time, and Andrea is very familiar with this as well as Larry too, so I may have to lean on them a little bit, but I'll do my best to explain it to you. So, Patoka Union Township is how it was established. They have broadened the perimeters to where you can also use those funds as long as they are some way tied to the TIF district or improving the TIF district. But the capture for the property tax pertains to the Toyota campus or the Toyota area. So all that money captured out there, all the property tax, I should say, goes into what I'll call the TIF bank. Okay. What we are approving tonight is 60% capture for projects and improvements. Now, I'm probably going to talk your leg off on this, Roy, but I think you need to know this as a taxpayer. Even if you don't own property out there next to Toyota, but this is primarily that the TIF is capturing the property tax in that area where the Toyota campus is. So the easiest way to explain it to you is it's Toyota's property taxes. They make up the TIF. Now, 60% that we capture can be used for projects. For instance, in the last 2 years, the commissioners, your current commissioners, we've decided that it's kind of a new trend. We've decided that we think the funds should be used for more road improvements versus inter-campus type activities and projects. The best way to explain it to you is this, Roy. We've been trying to improve the road infrastructure connecting to Toyota. I don't know if you've ever been out there around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or when it all lets out. You probably have, going over to the grandkids or whatever, but I mean, Larry can attest to this too. When they let out, it becomes very, very busy. And our focus has been on trying to improve those roads. So you're going to see, and this has taken us 2 years to put this together, but we have a road plan out there, not just for the area roads around Toyota and the campus out there, but we also want to improve some of the roads westerly, easterly, and the southern roads too, that tie in and connect into Toyota. So in the next 2 years, this all takes a lot of time. That's 60% capture, that property tax that we're capturing. We're putting a lot of that into the roads out there. The 40% gets released back.
Not all the 60% that's captured is to be used because they have bond payment that they make. So you don't get to use all that 60% because
Good point.
There's a
Right.
20-year bond, I think, or something like that. But then they fund it like 125% is how much they figure. They collect 125% of what they think they'll need to pay off the bond. So you have about the 25% plus the rest. So you don't get it all to do all those projects, but you get a nice pile to do.
Yes. Larry, you got anything you want to add to that? I said, Larry, do you want to add anything to that? Okay.
Well, a couple of years ago, when they spent what, 13 million on Toyota parking lot?
Yes,
Come out of this-
that was, let's be extremely clear about that. That was prior to any of these commissioners. And I opposed that for what it's worth, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't think that was right, because it's actually taxpayers' money. You know, if it's used for roads and stuff going to Toyota, it's fine, but for actual, like their parking lot,
I'm with you, Roy.
might as well have been put in the general fund.
And I think most of us in here will make the case that Toyota's a good partner in this county. They've been a good partner. They're doing extremely well. I think their net profits were in excess of $250 billion.
They put it in their own parking lot.
They're doing really well and we're proud of them. And, so we are very proud of them, but we also, have had to focus in recent years to work on our roads and not only help Toyota, but also help all the infrastructure, Roy. That's been our goal.
That's fine. I'll shut up.
I will too.
Hey, the other day, train was blocking 350 again. Toyota started burning through, they started going on, and Kenny knows that, road, 400 east. That's not no road to be coming out on and turning on, and you know what I'm saying, on 64. That's a dangerous road. I mean, it's really dangerous. And I've talked to all of you about this, you know, and I said, we need to make 450 Blacktop Road, or Chip and Seal Road, so they can go down there to 250 and shoot across, you know what I mean? Because that's what they're doing. And because when they can, I've seen almost 3 wrecks. This, in the 3 weeks now, I've seen almost 3 wrecks right there coming, those cars are coming out on that 400 east, and they don't look, they just go. And they're just coming right out on 64, or they're turning on 64, and people going down 30, 50, and they're turning around right there at the section where Roy's house is. They're turning around right there, you know, Roy has seen many a times, people turning around there on 64. And it's just a matter of time someone's gonna get killed.
So, but it ain't me.
Right.
It ain't me, right? But I mean, I'm just saying this is a county problem. And I think they need to really, on TIF money, they need to really address that 450 east to 250. They need to get that addressed as quick, you know, this year, this spring, and get it done. It don't have to be a perfect road, but they need to, because if it's chip and sealed and it's a good decent chip and sealed road, they'll drive it. Because they got one mission, gotta get the plan. And that's how they go.
I think you ought to bring 450 all the way through, that go past my house.
Well, no.
That's the wrong 450, Bob. It's 450, but the wrong one he's talking about.
450 east. Well, I know 450 south, that's. Yeah.
All right,
We have not taken the vote on this yet.
let's take a vote on this, guys.
We've got a motion by Warren and a second by you. So we need a vote on this.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. That's passed. Okay, now this one here is gonna be up to Spindler. It's Forte, County Road 360 South.
60 south. So there's been, since the last meeting, there's been a lot of discussion about this, including with the property owners in that vicinity, the commissioners, county highway department, county engineer. At this point, we're going to further consider the legal options available to the county. Additionally, we may be entertaining some road improvements in that area. So there's no action item for tonight, but that is the update for the commissioners and the public. If you want to talk with me after the meeting, I'd be happy to talk with you a little more about what we discussed prior to the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? The Sandy Creek lateral Fort Branch wastewater treatment fence.
Yes, I was just going to, as long as all the commissioners are in agreement, I was gonna have Judy, draft a letter. And Judy, I can help you with that should you need it, but, it was brought to my attention by the town of Fort Branch, and I believe they reached out to Mr. Spindler too. Their legal counsel did, but, Scott Martin, our county surveyor, had sent letters out, and had, the way I understood it, verbally communicated with the town that they needed to remove a 600-foot stretch of fence along their sewage wastewater treatment plant in Fort Branch. And now he is wanting to, Scott Martin, I should say, the county surveyor is wanting to clean out some of the Sandy Creek lateral that runs behind the sewer plant. Sure if I can do it justice here, but so here's the Sandy Creek lateral running southerly. And Judy, is there another image in there anywhere? Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one. So legally, there's a 75-foot right of way per Indiana code or per drainage law. And you can see that is actually that 75-foot right of way, the way I understand the code, is from the bank. 75 feet. Now, the situation we're running into is put in layman terms for everyone so you can understand it is along the sewage treatment plant up here, this you can see some of their clarifiers, and there's one of their holding tanks. This is right off of Coal Mine Road, for those of you trying to picture where this is at, but you cross the tracks if you're going out to the high school, it's on the left. On Coal Mine Road, but the problem is there is a fence around their campus, around the sewage treatment plant. There's a fence up there. And especially along the Sandy Creek here, that the fence, if we were to exercise our rights and go 75 feet, it would go into the fenced in area. Well, you can see up there in that one, yes, go up a little bit more with your little pointer, down a little. Whoa, you can see in that area, it actually gets into the infrastructure of the plant, which, I mean, no one would practically do that. Do we have a 75-foot right of way? Yes, legally we do. But it would almost, to give you an example, like if you were in a situation where there was a home or a building, no one's going to say, you know, it's not practical to say, well, guess what? We're going to take out your house for our ditch drain. It's not necessary, to be quite clear about it. But again, I'm wanting Judy, with the commissioner's blessing and approval, to draft a letter to our county surveyor saying we would like to use best practice here and be a good neighbor, and clean to the south and to the west. So not on the side where the fence is, but on this other side. Clean up and also just to be considerate of the landowners along there too. We don't need to take out full 75 feet or anything like that. Just go through, clean up the ditch like we normally do. But again, I thought we better get this in letter form and communicate it to the surveyor, because he has communicated to the town that he basically gave them an ultimatum that they had to remove the fence. And I disagree with that. Are we within our right? Yes, but I disagree with it because I think that's an unnecessary measure when there's no fence on the other side. Does that make sense? There's no fence in the field. So why wouldn't you just go that way and try to be nice to people and consider it? But So again, my ask is tonight, that we put it to a motion to just have Judy send a letter to Scott Martin, exercising our authority as drainage board members and as commissioners. So if you're gonna do some cleaning, do it on that westerly or southerly side there, but. Yes,
The
sir.
reason severe, when things removed is for the county to exercise their right as far as the lateral, is that the reason for the 100 fence?
I don't know his reason completely, but I think I think
Do
what,
you need, that 75 feet, is that for the county's access or, I mean?
it could be, I mean, it could be, but my position is, and what I'm hoping for support on here is, there's no need to remove the fence. There's plenty of access because you go from the bank, if you will, 75 feet. So you could just as easily, Mark, what I'm saying is you could just as easily go, yeah, to the other side of the ditch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, as far as the county's concerned, y'all need 75 feet to maintain that creek, right?
I'm not gonna issue that. I wouldn't say that. It's just what we need to do is clean on the side that doesn't have a fence. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to say we don't need 75 foot because, I mean, no need to at this point, but what I'm saying is let's just clean on the side where there's no fence and see if that helps a little bit over there. Because the real reason for doing some of this is to kind of try to improve some of the flooding over there. As you know, you're a Fort Branch resident. There's flooding on 168. Every time we get like a heavy 6-inch rain, we get it on 168, seems like. Lee, I don't know if you ever run across that or not. Once, it's for years, 168's had trouble, right? As far as I know. And then also on Coal Mine Road I'm talking,
A lot of water.
I don't know how many years. Yeah, a lot of water. And here's the thing, what we have to keep in mind, we're gonna try to take some measures to clean this out, but the sheer volume of water, and I'm not a stormwater expert, but I just read up on a lot of this stuff. The sheer volume of stormwater, we can't change that, right, Mark? I mean, we can't put a dent in how much water is coming down and at the rate. But maybe we can clean that ditch out and allow a little more capacity.
Well, it will also be helpful that, I mentioned to y'all last year, except you, sir, but that, the Bridge of Honor site there is gonna be needing,
And
cleaning out, so.
And I thought about that too. Yes, and, okay, so I thought about that too, right? We want to stay away from that. We don't want the surveyor going over and digging out that area. You agree?
Well, that area does actually do need to be cleaned down, I mean,
No.
I mean, as far as.
The ditch.
Maybe not as far as the creek part of it.
Yes. You don't want us to cut into that.
No, just clean.
I agree. That's another reason for this letter. So hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
There.
Is the purpose of the fence a safety issue to keep people?
It is a security issue to keep people out of their equipment. Yes. And there's 600 feet of it. I mean, if 6 feet's one thing, but 600 feet, I say leave it alone. If you gentlemen aren't agreeing with it.
You know, if he was doing
If
it,
they can do it from the field side, why not?
you know, that was gonna be temporary or that was just for total removal.
It was going to be for removal. But I don't know all the specifics of how long or when it would be put back or who would put it back. I just thought, let's try to avoid the whole headache. And just clean on the side where there's no fence.
Right, I got you.
So. If you gentlemen are agreeing with that. Okay,
Have Judy,
Judy? Is that
he's
clear?
good at letters.
Okay.
A motion?
Is that it?
Yes, sir. I'll also move. I'll make a motion on it. Okay.
Okay,
Have Judy draft the letter.
I'll second it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, Hannah, it's your turn.
Okay, so I wanted to start off with something fun, but, so I don't know if all of you guys have been by Greeks, but we're really excited. About a year and a half ago, you guys made it a, local historical historic landmark, for us, and, we have made some really, really good progress. Our windows are still not in, unfortunately, but we are trying to be patient and show grace because it is being done by a small business. And they're all, having to be custom made, due to the era and sizing and all that. But anyways, it's been painted. We'll be doing the second coat soon. Windows will be in by the end of the month. We're having the bathrooms put in right now, framed up. Our custom bar is being built. Structural's all done, electric's all done, HVAC's done. It still looks like a hot mess on the inside, but all the good stuff that needed to be done is done. And now we'll work on the pretties, I guess, so. We're really. And then so downtown Princeton is a part of a nationally accredited program, called Main Street America. And our level right now is an ODAN community, and we really want to be an Indiana Main Street community or a nationally accredited Main Street community. So with that, there's a lot of stipulations that we're not meeting those requirements right now. And it's important for us to bump up in those levels because it broadens the stuff we have access to for our small businesses and also our streetscapes. So one of those stipulations is that we have government affiliation financially. We have gotten, starting this year, we get $3,500 from the city. And I was hoping that the county would be able to match that so we can meet those requirements.
Well, I've had a lot of folks ask me questions about, what are we gonna have up there someday, like ice cream, candy, so I better start with that important question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing great, but I was just kind of curious, what are we gonna have, what's gonna be served up there someday, because some of our folks remember the days of,
So right now, so there is a place in up north called the Hericos, and they're loosely related to the Andriakis family, which is who originally ran Greeks, right? And they immigrated over here around the same time, and it's in Columbus. It's pretty famous. They have a map. People from all over the world just came there. And so the person who will be renting and running the business under the pretenses that estate remains Greeks, he's been learning how to make all of the chocolates. So we will have all of those chocolates, and then we'll have ice cream, and then old fashioned sodas, and then since times have changed so much and where we're at with downtown, we don't want to take away from our other small businesses, like the Palace and other businesses here in town. So they have decided food wise, they'll just do like a really light Greek inspired menu, which would be, I might be pronouncing it wrong, but gyros.
yeah, I never know. I never know.
Mhm.
Baklava, that sort of thing. Well, you got this, and I definitely got Greek. So that menu is not my decision, but I definitely approve and think that it's a great idea. And so, yeah, all of the basics, the stuff that people really, really remember isn't the cheeseburgers and fries, it's the chocolates and candies and states, which I haven't had the pleasure of having.
Oh, I haven't either. George, do you remember the Greeks of old days, or
Yes, I do. Been there, too.
a lot of good company up there? I mean,
Yeah, it's a great place.
The best candy around.
Years ago, they used to have a little table in there. And when we were little, there was a little table in there, like 4 little chairs. And all the kids were always trying to get to that table, I don't know if any of you guys remember that.
Becky does, yeah.
In a bidding war to get one of those tables that
Oh,
are
really?
identical to that.
Yeah.
Zaharakos has about 10. And I'm sitting in it that is identical to those, that set. So I'm in the process of trying to get as much as we can. So
They used to have one there in the restaurant.
yeah.
Have Judy looked at our finances? and see-
Already did.
Oh, okay, good.
It's just, it's a couple on items that can go under.
Oh, so I may have just jumped right into the next thing. The 3,500 isn't for Greeks. It's for downtown Princeton. So that is for us with the Main Street Community Programs. The county is welcome to make a donation for Greeks, but that's not what I'm asking for today. I just wanted to give an update because they have been invested in the project.
So do you need additional funding to get Greeks moving along?
So we have enough funding, right? I mean, we can always use more because we would like to go ahead and do all the kitchen equipment and stuff, so the renter will just move right in. But as of right now, what I'm asking for, and we have enough funds to keep continuing. Everything is just, so we have a core group that is our contractors, the only people that would touch it, and for what we can afford. And basically some of the stuff like the windows and all that, it seems like it's taking a long time, but it's just because it's outsourced from our core group. So we're on their time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I was just gonna suggest, because Greeks is very, I mean, this is our county seat.
Yeah.
Everybody come to Princeton. You don't remember this because you're not old enough.
Sure.
But this is where we come shopping. If you
Right.
come to town, this is where you come. And I would go to every other town and every other city in Gibson County and just go to their council and ask them, even if it's a small donation, just to help get it going, because I can't imagine any one of our cities or towns outside of Princeton that would not want to see Greeks open again.
Sure.
And just go there. I know my family, we bought a brick
Yeah.
to put that down. How's that coming along?
We're not gonna order bricks until we're ready for the back patio, and that'll be last.
That's the last.
Mhm.
They get their break too.
But
Yeah.
I will definitely put a deadline out there so people can know that you've got like a week, but we still have bricks available. I think we have enough space for about 80. So if not, we'll just put it with regular brick.
How much are the
That's
bricks?
$100.
They're $100.
Of course, okay. Should let it too, yeah. Yeah.
But Judy, we do have, don't we have a couple line items that we can put that 3,500 under?
And I want to clarify that that is not for groups. It is for downtown Princeton. I'm not opposed to a donation to Greeks. That would be fabulous. But, and I can bring specs and different things another day if that's something you guys are interested in. But the 3,500 is so we can continue to grow and get more access to things that we do not have access to right now with this program.
Think it'll give you access to grant writers and stuff, or?
Oh, yeah.
More grants, more available grants?
Yeah, and so with this, it's more for like small businesses, streetscapes. This is the program that brought the Stellar Grant in 2013. So it's not the Stellar Grant anymore, but it is the same program in which I'm speaking of that did upgrade downtown quite a bit. It did the Princeton Theater. I'm not sure if it did the Palace, but and then all the streetscapes.
Is there any comparable towns that's on these type of levels that you're on?
Yeah, so Jasper, downtown Evansville, and they have two different ones. I believe they're Main Street, like the Brick Road Main Street. So they're their own historic districts. And then, I mean, pretty well any historic district in Indiana is on it. It just depends what level that they are on. And we are actually, so a part of my job and requirement to be a ODA community is that I have to go to so many community exchanges per year to just kind of see what everyone else is doing and work off of each other and stuff. And we, out of all of the historic directors that I've met across Indiana, I have only met two that do not have an annual donation by their government entities. So this will be our first year with the city, and that's what I'm hoping to get from you guys as well.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Well, Fairview Church has the bricks at their church. You know, they have like a little garden
Oh, no.
and they have the bricks and they have their name all the way around it and stuff.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
What fund will that be coming out of? What line?
Judy's got to do the line.
We
item.
had three of them.
There's a link there to get one.
Special events.
Mhm.
It's coming out of your fund.
I'll,
They can go on.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
you go with that.
I noticed that coming in here tonight, is Princeton getting the J.C. Penney's back? It'd be worth $3,500.
yeah,
J.C. Penney.
Nobody's gonna argue with that. I like J.C.
You can
Penney's.
explain that
Maybe
though.
they'll get it from us.
Mhm.
Are you gonna bring J.C. Penney?
That's gonna be a church, isn't it?
so, yeah, so Bruce is. Property that we own, the rest of it is kind of do different forms of economic development and small business growth, that sort of thing. That's what our program is. And then we host all of the events that you see downtown as well. So, Bethany Christian Church bought that property. And I actually, I know some people have reservations. They're like, oh, we really need retail done. And I agree. But we really are truly blessed to have them, because that building was in very rough shape. There was contractors in there with a broom to the back wall, and the whole brick was morphing, you know, as they were pushing it with the broom. So it's a lot of work that the average person to open up a small business wouldn't be able to afford. So I'm really great. Then they're really great community partners for us. So no, not a J.C. Penney's, I'm sorry, but the facade looks really good.
Back memory.
Well, thank you.
I have one more thing.
Oh,
So I wanted to give you guys an update on, last time I was here, you guys made a donation towards us getting on the National Historic Registry, which is a really big deal and something that we probably needed to do for quite some time. I met with him this morning, and we are actually doing 2 districts. We qualify for 2. And we decided to go ahead as a board to make that move. And so there will be the downtown historic district, and then there will also be the historic Devon district. So that opens, it's an additional like 42 buildings. And also I learned about, there's more programs with that than just the grants, in which we talked about last time. There's also a lot of tax credits for homeowners and business owners or renters and that sort of situation. So there's a lot. And I'm asking for a lot, but the city did pledge an additional 500, so we could go ahead and do the second historic district, which we're going to do either way. But I didn't know if you guys wanted to match that as well, since we will be doing 2 instead of 1 now. And I can also send you guys those maps. It just kind of all happened today.
it's a total
7,000.
7,000, so 500.
So you would be, if you guys would donate another 500 towards the cause, then you would do a total of 1,500 towards the project.
What was that additional? What was that name of that? The additional?
The Devon district.
Devon.
Where's that come from?
I'm sorry.
What's that name? What's the meaning behind that?
He was historically significant, in which I could maybe bring that information next time. But he, what is the hub co-working space and where economic development is right now? He owned that property as a business, and then he also owned, he lived on State Street. So.
That should bring up 7,000 to the scale.
Yeah. Need a motion to approve that.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right.
Thanks. I am.
This must be for you, Michael.
Must be.
Hello, Michael Stevenson, County Park Board. Taking this one right now, President of Gibson County. I'm coming to you guys today on behalf of the Park Board to request permission to hire part-time for the park. We are going to work inside of the existing money that has been given to us for our budget for this year. I believe Judy and I looked at the numbers while going, and we got to set aside $40,000 this year out of edit funds. So we will work inside of that. I've spoken to Wendy, the auditor's office. She basically appointed me, and I'm going to be at the council next week, asking for their approval as well. From what I understand, part-time pays $12.50 an hour. We will have to cover all of the costs, so the additional taxes and sort of thing. So our portion will be $13.46 an hour, which is 7.65% greater than the actual per hour cost. Wendy has told me we have a maximum of 24 hours a week. And so she has also said that we need to set aside some of that money in a separate line item if we get approval from everybody. She thought that the council is a place to go to do that, but I'll just let you know that we're going to set aside, the plan is set aside $7,000 this year for up to 2 part-time employees. And the reason why it's 2 is because we've already had interest saying, hey, if I need help from my spouse, can they help me? And I want to make sure if they are both working, they are both employees. So that if there's an accident, not that there would be, but just to be on the safe side. So that is the request. The position would be mowing, weed eating, spraying, just park maintenance, that sort of thing that we need to have out there. So I guess what I'm asking from you guys is your blessing for this, and then we will.
Mike, will you keep time sheets of these people, or will one of the other board members, or how will that work?
That is something I need to talk to Mike about to figure out what the best way to go about that is. They would be, I assume they would be under the direction of the park board. But as far as how they do their time sheets, how they get that stuff in, I don't know.
I'll let you guys work that out. That was the only thing I was thinking about, is how we're gonna
Yeah,
document
that's
it.
a really good question because I've been wondering that myself.
Okay.
I have a feeling, I met in this week with Nick, we went to Fruitman Park, and met with Joe Sheeter down there. And people that want to do this type of work, it becomes a labor of love, I think. And he was saying that, you know, he gets paid for 40 hours a week, but he works 60 to 80 hours a week. So I would not be a bit surprised if who we hire gives us more than what
I believe it.
we asked for, but I also want to be fair.
Sure. Sure.
And so that's where we are, asking for up to 2 employees and we're planning to pull $7,000 out of our.
Well, the money's already there, so, yeah, my blessing.
One question I have is, once you hire this, I mean, it's up to the park board, but after you hire, are you still gonna be done with the people that come out already to cut grass?
The hope would be, we're paying a lot of money right now to have the park mowed once a week, and they do a very good job, but we can only do so much. Yeah, the hope would be that this person would take care of that. We're also paying a company to clean the bathrooms once a week. We're hoping that some of this will offset some of that cost. And so yes, we hope that it will be maintained by this individual, this person or these persons.
You got mowers already too?
We need to talk to the commissioners about that. I believe several years ago, George probably can speak to this. Several years ago, mowers were purchased for the correctional facility guys to go out and maintain the park. And then because of a lack of personnel at the jail or the sheriff's department, they were not able to continue to do that. So we wanted to talk to see if those mowers were, I believe they're in the basement of the jail, from what I understand, and kind of been sitting there. So the hope would be to get those moved, if that's okay, to get those moved over to the park. We now have a building that can house them, so that, yes, the people would be able to use the county's equipment to maintain them.
Sure would like to see that work release come back into play.
Well, we would too. Definitely like to see that happen.
We're getting a few more in community corrections, aren't we? We're starting to get a few more in community corrections and,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's enough to justify a workforce yet, but
Well, we need to, just kind of look into it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the status of those lawnmowers are. What condition they're in or anything, I've not looked at it, but I've been there for a while. So, I'll, give the sheriff, talk with him about that and. Appreciate that. Maybe we can sit down, have a little meeting and see what we can work out, if that's all right. with you.
Yeah.
Call the sheriff's department or whatever, we see, or maybe we come by and take a look.
My
Mhm.
schedule for yesterday or for tomorrow got canceled, so I'll just swing by tomorrow.
All right.
Well, I don't, I mean, we'll find out.
Hopkins. Well, you know, if you were to take those mowers and let's say next week George says, guess what? I'm ready to go. We got a crew coming. Road patrol or we're gonna clean ditches or we need another mower. I mean, I think we can make that happen for you, George. Because I think that's important. I mean, I've gotten so many reports from people about, well, I really would like to see those, you know,
Well, I do know that.
Folks working
Sheriff's
again.
talked about-
yes,
This is called the trash pickup guys,
yes,
and, he's planning on doing that.
that'd be great. They used to always clean up the ditch there in Fort Branch. They'd always come through there and clean up and they helped out with several other projects and
Probably the biggest problem right now is the number of correction officers that we.
Oh, sure.
We've got several vacancies. And that's one of the reasons why, they haven't been able to push that. this year. Take prisoners out, somebody's got to guard them.
well, sure.
Yeah.
Take them out, so back. So-
Doesn't work that way, does it, George? George, I can see that. Well, what do you think, Mike? So you're gonna try to get with them and,
Yeah, I'll get with George and the sheriff. Find out what the situation is with that. But yes, the plan would be. If that doesn't work out, the plan would probably be the park would buy. A mower and a weed eater, that sort of thing. Themselves, but I'm hopeful that we wouldn't have to do that because my understanding is it's already been purchased for this route.
we might as well use those mowers. They're not doing us any good right now, so let's use them. Okay. Better run equipment and let it sit.
We need to make a motion on that.
Well, I think so. My understanding is that I have to have your blessing.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
buddy.
Thanks, Mike.
Warren, this next one's yours. You better read them because
I'll do my
your
best.
glasses aren't the best.
Hmm.
We got a new proclamation for Earth Week and Earth Day.
All right, Gibson County, Indiana proclamation presented for Earth Week and Earth Day. Whereas the first Earth Day was celebrated on April 22nd, 1970, to inspire environmental awareness while encouraging the conservation, protection, and appreciation of our nation's natural resources. And whereas planet Earth continues to face serious environmental challenges, including air and water quality, decreased water supply, ecosystem degradation, biodiversity loss, and climate change, which only the people of Earth can resolve. And whereas Gibson County is dedicated to protecting our resources and preserving our cultural and natural treasures while recognizing our role in environmental stewardship. And whereas the annual celebration of Earth Day and Earth Week in Gibson County seeks to involve all citizens in improving their local environment and becoming more aware of their global environment. And whereas Earth Day and Earth Week provide an opportunity for everyone in Gibson County to devote time and attention to issues of sustainability and environmental health. And whereas Earth Day is an annual reminder of the constant need for environmental activism, stewardship commitments, and sustainability efforts. Now therefore be it resolved, we, the commissioners, on behalf of the people of Gibson County, hereby proclaim April 17th through 22nd as Earth Week and April 22nd, 2023 as Earth Day in Gibson County, Indiana, and encourage all residents, businesses, officials, and visitors to help make Gibson County a greener, healthier, and more sustainable place for all.
Make a motion, we accept that as Earth Week and Earth Day.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Yes, sir. And we'll affirm with our signatures and aye for me too.
I have 2 medical leaves here that we need to sign and approve. And you do have all the paper and stuff. Okay.
You see this earlier.
Oh, really? Come on, Lee.
Public telecommunications.
Reason for the proclamation, because we just got approved. 3 years ago, the Solid Waste Board approved a project to work to get the community to help clean up the ditches in Gibson County. Unfortunately, COVID came in right after that and we were unable to make it happen. We've got past that now. And so this is our attempt to make this work. We've got some things that we've got in progress right now. We're going to have some ads on the radio to get this up. But the biggest part of it is getting community individuals take pride in their part of the community and try to do this. We're going to try to help them out. We're supplying packets at all of our waste sites. Also, the mayor of Oakland City is supply those. We have Oakland City University. We got a couple of the FFA chapters. We got some 4-H people, and we're trying to get more people involved to help this work out. Hopefully, this will help get us kick-started. The program is our first year for it, and then maybe by next year, when we have a big solar eclipse, we'll have a very presentable county to show people from all over the country. So, if you've got any groups, we've got, master gardeners. I think we've talked to them. If you've got a group or even individuals, you can go into our any one of our sites and sign out for a packet. You'll get some trash bags, you get some recycle bags for aluminum and plastic, and you'll also get some gloves. And you can take those, and then as you pick them up, you can bring them back into any one of the open sites. Then on Saturday, the 22nd, we're going to sponsor a little pizza party for those who want to bring their trash in on that day and bring it to their. And that way you can get that, and they can kind of get a little bit of pain, getting out and cleaning up. I appreciate the commissioners for going through with this. I think it's going to help advertise what we want to do and get the community involved with it. That's my main goal.
You got plenty of trash bags or anything you're needing from us?
Back when they decided to embargo the oil, we got smart and we bought a backstock of plastic bags. So we're in pretty good shape. In fact, I'm going to assist Clayton Moyer, who is a high school student here at Princeton, who is putting together a Princeton cleanup day on Earth Day. And we also have Hazardous Waste Day going on out in Toyota that day. So we've kind of pulled all this together. But we have right now, I'm in good shape on plastic bags and packets.
Vests and all that too.
I've got a few vests. I think Clayton has gotten some vests from donations. I don't have those at this point in time. I'm hoping that maybe in another year we can print up fluorescent T-shirts with logos on them. But this is kind of a first year attempt to get this thing rolling, and everybody be on board with this.
This lawyer boy sounds like pretty good help, and that's pretty admirable. A young kid like that's getting out there.
I thought it was very admirable. Jim Mangles is on our board, and he's the one that took me up with him. And I called him and said, "Hey, anything we can do to help you. I don't want to step on his toes. I want his project to be a go, but I wanted to expand it to the whole county because we've got a lot of county roads out there that need some attention. And if nothing else, maybe it will spark people's minds to keep it in their car and not throw it out, not throw their trash in the ditches and stuff like that. Maybe that'll help with that, and we can keep a cleaner community.
What do you think about the idea? And you don't even have to answer me tonight because you may be, you may not have time for it or what. But what do you think about the idea of you've got this Moyer boy up here, working in Princeton pretty hard. What if we, I'd probably put it in your backcourt because you're familiar with everything and your opportunities, but what if you're able to contact, for instance, East Gibson schools or Woodland Memorial High School and see if they would nominate?
Done that, we're talking to football teams, I've got the Princeton and Gibson Southern FFA, we've been talking to them.
You're a step
State
ahead.
University, I did a program with last year, on putting recycled, containers throughout the dormitories up there, which they're doing a pretty good job.
We received a lot of compliments from Oakland City about that.
And we're going back to them again this year, and I'm open, if you got anybody that's got a kid that's in a group of any kind, 4-H, we could talk to them. 4-H actually gives points for community service projects. And so we're putting that out to the 4-H kids, and that's the reason we made it a whole week and actually a little bit longer. We were actually supposed to start some of the FFA chapters. We're going to start this weekend. I don't know if that's going to actually come about now because of some scheduling problems with days off and that kind of thing.
Lee, do those areas already have designated areas that they're going to clean up, like the Gibson Southern FFA? Are they going to clean Fort Branch and Hopstock?
Actually, the Gibson Southern, they were probably going to focus on Coal Mine Road.
Oh, good.
Go up through there and get that. My thing is that I want the people to tell me where they want to clean up. In other words, if you living in this area, you want to clean up this area, I'm going to let you do that. Now, if there's a group that doesn't have someplace that they want to go, then I'm open to, I'm going to say, all right, I've got, we've got some places out here that are sparsely populated, but we get a lot of trash in. We get a lot of trash coming across the river, coming across the borders into our county. And people getting out of their county and then dumping their trash on us. So we try to do the best we can at keeping that cleaned up and deterring that, but you just get it. I mean, that's just one of the things that.
And you're not prosecuted.
We've got 2 or 3 that have been, we put them in the legal system. The biggest one that I can think of, dumped a whole truckload of stuff, but he got put in prison for something else before we could get him. Catching them is a hard thing because they go up there along the 1350, up there right along Pike County line, and there's no cameras, no people living out there on the strip mines and stuff, and they'll just dump it out there. We pick up hundreds of tires and trash bags and stuff like that. And I'm more focused to try any place that they want to do it, they can do it, but mostly I want to do it around the communities, the cities and stuff, where people are throwing their trash out. And we can at least get now's the time to do it. Grass has not grown up very much yet. You can still get you can still see it in the ditches. I do this every spring myself up there, side by side with the trash containers mounted on the back of it, and I pick up the glass and all that kind of stuff. I'm just hoping that it will take off.
Thank you, Lee, and I appreciate it. I've called you out before to pick up mattresses and everything else, and you get it done, so.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Actually, we started we've got a grant just got approved. One thing that we get a lot of is refrigerators. And we are really not allowed to take refrigerators because of the Freon. And I just had a grant passed through the state of Indiana that is going to get us the equipment and the training to be able to tag the refrigerators and stuff. So we'll be able to recycle the Freon and recycle the metal and stuff rather than see them. I don't know how many of those things I picked up out of the ditch because nobody knows what they can do with them.
Mhm.
Talk too much.
Well,
Hey,
You're all right.
I'm glad to answer.
Thank you. Thanks, Lee.
On April the 22nd, for this coming up now, if you've got any young boy that would like to get into the operating engineers, we're going to have a training session over at Take Apprentices at the training center at east of Linville. There'll be all kinds of equipment in there for them to play with. They can dig holes, they can run a crane, they can do whatever they want to do. If it's raining, we've got a great big inside building over there. that they can dig holes in, they can fill them back up. But an operating engineer, I've been one, that's the reason I was gonna say it. Operating engineer don't need to go to college. I make more money than most college people.
Mhm.
And, we need young men that's interested in it. We're short of people right now, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. It'd be an apprenticeship program for 4 years. You earn while you're working. And, it's a great opportunity for any young man. And I highly encourage, I've got I've got 3 or 4 buddies that's been in there for like 40 years. They're drawing over $7,000 a month plus social security. That's their money that they take out of their paycheck. You don't take $40 a year, an hour home. They take so much out of that for training and so much for let back into your account. And I was only in there like 10 years. I'm drawing pretty daggone good money because Social Security. I highly encourage, if you know any young man that wants to do it, go to the training center on April the 22nd. It's east of Linville on 68, I believe it is. They've got guys are gonna be over there. I'm gonna be in Nevada, but
Is that during the week or is that on a weekend? Is that on a Saturday or during the week? The 22nd?
Yeah, the same, that's Saturday's waste day, that's on Saturday.
Saturday? And what, Bob, what
it's a
age?
fantastic opportunity for any young man.
Yeah.
Like 14, 15-year-old boys that are welcome?
How old they gotta be, Bob?
18.
Minimum of 18? Okay.
What time is that gonna start? What time does that start?
I'd say about 8 o'clock. I talked to James today, but I didn't ask him what time it was, but about 8 o'clock here.
Okay.
But I highly encourage any young man or woman.
Yeah.
Get over there and try it if you like it.
So maybe-
Nothing lost.
So maybe you've got a child or, you know, a boy or girl who likes to do things hands-on or good at working on stuff or operating and they want to be out and outdoors and this would be ideal for them to learn.
They've got brain simulators over there where you sit there and brain holes. It's great. They've got about everything.
That's what my brother does as a profession and he loves it. He loves it.
I called over today. I said, you can't do that. You're gonna be in Nevada.
Okay.
There's certain age limits you can't go if you're so old.
Yeah.
Is there a certain upper age limit?
Like, will they turn old people away?
Probably.
Let's say an older guy wants to go try it.
I'm 83 years old. I don't think they turned me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. Can't discriminate against the,
Hey, guys, I got these two medical leaves. Need a motion to approve them. And we sign them.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right, President, I got one thing I want to say about Francisco School when you get a chance, or when I get a
Okay.
chance here. For those that may not have heard, they're doing a farewell to Francisco School. And I hope it's short-lived, to be honest, because that's a nice little school and a nice little town. But they've been putting it out there that on May 4th, 2023. So May 4th, I'll say, and I didn't see a time on it.
5:30.
5:30 to 7:30.
Tom Shannon.
I think it's, hang on a second here and I'll tell you. I think it's 5:30 to 7:30. Yes, 5:30 to 7:30.
PM. Yeah. And they're gonna do a farewell to Francisco School for all the people that attended school there, and I guess it's open all of Gibson County, really. But like I said, I hope it's short-lived because that's a nice building and they've got all new sidewalks there and it's prime and ready for use.
What date was that?
May 4th.
May 4th.
That was open from 1851 to 2023. My kids are just.
And you graduated from there. Congratulations, Francis.
Wood Memorial. 66 was last year that graduated Francisco. Yeah. I wasn't old enough then.
You got kicked out of.
Couple sometimes.
Yes, sir. That's it, President.
Anything else? Go ahead, Ron.
Like everybody through on those people, name Ron Rover. And I'm gonna harp about some of our roads over in our part of the county. We haven't had a road drag since December. Our part of the county. About another second. We had before, every 12, 15 days, he was dragging the roads in our part of the county. And he ain't been one of them. Something needs to be done about it.
Well, there was somebody called me this week about it. And I said something to Brant and he's said, I've done talked to him. He's gonna get over and start doing his job.
Said it's 4 months almost now, not the first time we drug, you know, it's,
Well, the one that used to be there is the one that called me,
yeah,
Kevin
he
Cruz.
did a good job.
And
Fantastic.
he said, it's been 3 months since I was worked. He said, ain't the drag been by the house.
Yeah. I seen the grader the other day, but he's running down the road the blade up there. I said, he wasn't getting much cars. But, I mean, we need to get something done over there.
Okay,
That's, if he just does it once a month, that would be great.
Right.
We've got kids out there that like to eat donuts out there in the gravel roads. Well, you know what that's like trying to drive across them all the time?
kids like those four-wheelers cutting donuts.
Oh, yeah, that destroys the roads, but you know, they never gonna do about that. That's got to get cost.
I used to do it.
I'd like to see something done about it here. Get whatever.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got something from,
Okay.
talked to Debbie Bennett,
Uh,
and, we talked about it last time about, leftover money from the ARPA,
mhm,
about, the courthouse, pressure washing courthouse in this building.
yeah,
She just says we do need to prove that. We can use the money that's already left over.
okay.
And that money was, 12,875. We just need to make a motion to approve that.
I so move.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Who did,
Did you have a second?
who did the second?
Have a second?
$12,000 of leftover ARPA money for power washing the courthouse in this building.
Put one of us down. You won't be.
We gotta have it on, we have to have it on the recording though. That's the thing.
I made a motion to approve the funding
I'll second.
for the power washing.
I'll second.
Okay.
And now all in favor indicate by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
There we go.
And that, does that include the monuments too?
Now I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I second that one.
All in favor?